Oh, who knew being your own production team is so difficult? Got to get everything just right. Hi, guys. How's everybody doing? How's everybody's week? How's everybody's stuff, their ish, their thing? I hope everybody's doing well. You are all tuned in and ready to go. Had to go off camera to get the last thing, the prop that we're going to be talking about, the thing that deserves all of the attention. Like angelic music should be playing right now. The sacred of the most sacred of the kinks is here. It is rope. Today, we are talking about this amazing stuff right here, rope. So, we're going to jump right into it too, because anybody that knows me knows this is my wife right here. This is the thing that makes Baby Bear jealous, because I love me some rope. Anybody that knows me, anybody that's been to a splash, anybody that's played with me, booked me for an event, had a private scene with me, anybody that has done anything kinky with me, you know I love me some rope. Now, rope is very special to me because rope is very versatile. Rope is one of the few kinky toys that I can bring into literally any scene and make it just a little bit better. I can be masochistic and make sure that I am providing pain with rope. I can be sadistic and make sure that I am putting someone in a lot of pain with rope, depending on what kind of rope it is and where I tie it and where I put it. I can be very, very sensual with rope. Um, as Baby Bear will tell you, as any submissive that I have had in the last 10 years will tell you, I can be very, very sensual with rope. There are a few people that will attest to the sensuality of rope that I have played with. But for me, rope is extremely special. Now, when I started in the BDSM lifestyle, I had absolutely no interest whatsoever in rope because it was boring. Rope. I want to play with rope. The fuck is wrong with you? They got paddles and floggers. They got shit I can use to beat on people. And you want to be over here playing with some rope? All right, if that's what you want to do, go ahead. But I'm going to be over there beating ass while you over here playing with this rope shit. That's how I felt. I just wanted to beat ass. I wanted to get to business. I had no interest in rope because rope takes patience. In order to truly love and truly appreciate the versatility of rope and what rope can do, you have to have patience. You have to be mature. You have to want to provide certain things to your partner. And that's where rope comes into the picture. When you want to seduce your partner, this is one of the most perfect tools to do that. When you want to inflict pain to your partner, this is great for that too. If I want to bind you to something, if I want to just make sure you can't use your arms or legs, no matter what I want to do, I can probably do it with rope. But enough of me fondling this beautiful nylon run. So let's focus. Anyway, rope. Rope is very dangerous. Statistically speaking, based on the numbers, rope is the number one most dangerous kink. More people die from rope than any other type of kinky play. And the main reason for that is people underestimate rope. When I am going to light you on fire, we all know what fire is, we all know what fire does. So it's very easy for people to understand that if they're playing with fire and they're doing fire play, You need a fire extinguisher. You need fire blankets. You need a first aid kit. You need antibiotic salve. You need Silvadene cream. You need all of the things that are going to make sure that you're being safe when you play with fire. Same thing can be said for electricity. The same thing can be said for knives. Same thing can be said for floggers, paddles, canes, all of that stuff. Because those are things that are obviously dangerous and can obviously inflict bodily harm. Rope gets underestimated. People think it's just rope. What harm can that possibly cause? What can you do with rope? It is very easy to use rope to cause nerve damage. It is very easy to use rope to maim a person. You cut the blood circulation off to a person's limb for long enough and it'll fall off. You tie rope in the wrong spot tight enough and you can create permanent nerve damage in someone. You put rope in the wrong spot and it's very easy to kill a person. I've heard stories of people trying to do suspensions and they end up hanging themselves because they were doing self-tying by themselves and attempting their first suspension. I've heard of people, I have seen experienced riggers who decided it was okay to have a few drinks, get up on stage and do a performance with rope and drop a person on their head. And now has the nerve to be teaching rope again. Hopefully they learned a lesson. Hopefully they understand the importance of being sober when you play, especially as the top. Hopefully that never happens again. Luckily for me, I have never had a rope accident. I've never hurt someone with rope. I've never had something happen with rope unintentionally to inflict any kind of harm upon a person. And I did say unintentionally because I have hurt people with rope before. When they consent and they desire to be hurt, I have hurt them and I have used rope to do it. And it was fun. I had a great time because I'm a sadist. And as a sadist, that's something that was enjoyable. But again, they consented to that. It was in the negotiation. It was part of the scene. It's how it went down because it was how it was supposed to go down. It was intentional. I have done drop play where people want to have the sensation of being dropped, and I have dropped them. And it was great. So rope is something that, done right, done correctly, done safely, can be the one tool you need to do almost anything to a person. Now, it is very important that if you are going to decide that you want to try and use rope, it is not good enough that you saw it somewhere, so now you think you can do what you saw someone else do, so you're going to try and use rope the way you saw someone else try and use it. You're going to fuck someone up. And if you're willing to do it with rope, you've probably done it with someone else, and you probably already fucked people up. And you've probably fucked people up and don't even know about it because you gave someone some play, you did not give them any aftercare. They dropped, didn't even know what that was, why it happened. And because you have no experience, you didn't bother to explain it to them or talk to them about it. You just was excited that somebody was willing to let you do some shit to them. You are what we call an amateur. You are a muggle. You are vanilla. You are not a part of this community that I love and that I am a part of. And you make us all look bad. Drink bleach. Just go drink bleach. Anyway, back to rope. If you want to learn rope, if you want to get into rope, if you want to try rope, if you want to experiment with rope, it is great to start with a pillow, a teddy bear, your own arm, your own leg, after the pillow or teddy bear. You can even start on inanimate objects, a table leg, a chair leg. It really does not matter where you're starting as long as it is not a living human As long as well, shit, it shouldn't be an animal either. Don't want to fuck up the family dog. That'd be interesting. Shouldn't be an animal either. Any inanimate object that has a column, something coming down that you can wrap the rope around. The first ties that you need to master are a single column and a double column tie. They are the first ties that they teach at every beginner's class. I'm not going to teach them on camera. I'm not going to teach them here. I will be teaching them in Tampa next Friday at the beginner's rope class that I'll be teaching in Tampa, but not here. So, no freebies. So, that's where you start. That's where you begin. That's where you get to a point where you say, hey, I want to give this a shot. I want to see what it's like. I'm going to try it. Make sure you're trying it on things that can't fight back, can't complain, and can't die if you fuck up. So, chairs, tables, stuffed animals, pillows, all of that stuff, all of that works. Okay. I have done a lot of rope instruction to pro doms. Pro doms love rope because submissives like to be tied up. They like to be bound. They like to be put into a point where they are restricted of movement, restricted of touch. They are restricted, and the rope is there so that they cannot fight back, fight against you, or get away. And a lot of pro doms will use rope in their scenes because submissives like bondage. I have met a couple submissives that don't like bondage, but it is very rare. It is very rare, but it does happen. So it exists, but it's very rare. Okay. Now, the things you need to know when you decide you want to get serious with rope, when you want to make the step from playing with rope on a chair leg, a pillow, or a teddy bear, and now you want to put rope on a person. Okay? Number one, safety shears. You are always going to have safety shears on you. And mine are in my toy box. I should have gotten them out so I can show you, but I didn't, and I don't have them. But I will show you in the next show. I don't have my production team with me for them to go get it. The production team's in California right now. They stayed. I came back. Baby Bear, that's you. But safety shears are important. And it is very important that you have your safety shears on your person, not on the dresser across the room, not on the nightstand and you're in the bed, not on the countertop right over there, in your pocket, hanging from your neck, on your belt loop, on your person. Safety shears are extremely important because number one, they will cut the rope, but they cut rope in a way that they do not damage your human. Okay? And when I say your human, I mean the bottom. If you are the master, your human is the slave. If you're the dominant, your human is the submissive. If you're at the top, your human is the bottom. And you are my human for the time that we are in that scene, and I am responsible for keeping you alive. So, the safety shears are always to keep your human safe. This particular rope's a little bit more expensive because they did a great dye job. The dye that they used to color this nylon was amazing. This is Dyadic rope. His rope is always really vibrant, really pretty, lasts a good long time. You can wash it. You can do all kinds of stuff to it. And this color will not bleed. It will not run off. It won't get on your hands, won't get on your clothes. They do a really good job dyeing their rope, but you get what you pay for. High quality nylon, high quality dye, you're going to pay for that. If you get your rope from Home Depot, you can get rope for like $4 a foot. And that's the really good Home Depot rope that is really soft and nice. It's going to be a nylon polypropylene hybrid rope. If you're thinking about going to Home Depot to get rope, that's probably where you should start. Now, when you make the jump from an inanimate object to a human, you're going to make sure you have safety shears, number one. Number two, you are going to make sure that your ties are not tight ties. You're going to use ties that have what we call loose tension. It's important that you start with loose tension because as someone who is getting into rope, has someone who is not familiar with rope and you're just learning rope, the most complicated part of rope is getting the tension correct. You tie too tight, and that can be a serious problem for your bottom. That's where you run into circulation issues, nerve damage, and other problems that you just don't want to have to worry about at a beginner's level. So at that beginner's level, when you're jumping from those inanimate objects to that place where you're going to be putting rope on another person, you are going to be concentrating on getting your knots right, where the rope is placed, but you're going to be using loose tension. Okay, that's very important. You don't need to put it tight on them. It doesn't need to be tight on their body. It's okay if it drapes a little bit. It's okay if it doesn't stay in exactly the right spot. It's okay if it doesn't look 1000% correct and it looks a little loose, because what you're doing is you are just getting into it. You're a beginner. You start off slow, then you start running once you get some practice. So loose tension is a place to begin. Okay, your safety shears, your loose tension. You need to know a little bit about anatomy. You're not a doctor. You don't need to go to medical school, but you need to know a little bit about anatomy. Okay? The things that are important. Tight rope in places that, well, you're not going to, as a beginner, nothing on the neck. We're talking about neck down, nothing. As a beginner, neck rope is not even in your vocabulary as a beginner. I did not start doing neck rope until I was probably a year into doing suspensions. I didn't start doing suspensions probably until about 3 years into doing rope. And that's 3 years of putting rope on people. I didn't put rope on people for about a year after I started tying. I don't know if y'all remember Burdines back in the day when they were a thing. It was a department store for you younger generation. It was a TJ Maxx type department store at the mall, and they went out of business. When they went out of business, I went by Dayland Mall at the time, and they were getting rid of the mannequins. And I asked the dude on the truck if I could give one of the mannequins, and he said no. And then I pulled out $20, and he gave me two of them and said they fell off the truck. He told me if anybody saw me with them, that's my business. He wanted his money. Back then, $20 meant something. I'm old as fuck. There you go. So I had these mannequins that I was using rope. They had some weight to them. They were shaped like a human. They were perfect for practice. So if you can do that, those are great, great places to start because they're shaped like a human. They have weight, and it's a good place to learn rope placement when you're practicing your rope. Mannequins are fantastic. If you don't have a mannequin, get a stuffed animal. Get a teddy bear. Best thing. Okay? So you're going to be looking at keeping loose tension, but you're also going to be paying attention to circulation points. Back of the wrist, inside of the thighs, places where you have major arteries and veins pumping a lot of blood. You want to make sure you're not putting rope on those places that could possibly tighten up or that could be in any way tight. Super important. Okay? Starting point. Okay. Number 2 or 4 or 3, whatever number we're on, the next number. You want to keep rope away from joints. Okay? Inside of the elbow, back of the knees, ankles, directly on the ankles, wrist, right inside the shoulders. Okay? You want to keep rope away from joints. Places that do a lot of moving in joints tend to manipulate or move your rope around in a way where it will mess up your tie. And if they move enough, it could possibly tighten even with loose tension. So as a beginner, you're going to try your best to stay away from those points. Okay. You also want to try and stay away from very sensitive areas. As a beginner, I did not put rope on places that I knew a person had like an erogenous zone or was very sensitive. Like I didn't put any on their feet if I knew they were ticklish. I tried to stay away from nipples for people that had sensitive nipples. I tried to stay away from any piercings for a person that had piercings. Now, oh, I love putting rope in those places when I know you're sensitive. I love taking rope and dragging it across piercings. But that is a higher level of interaction with rope because the rope will snag the piercings. The rope will rub sensitive areas raw to the point of creating painful spots. Those things will happen if you don't know what you're doing. So, as a beginner, stay away from that. Work your way up to that. Okay. No rope above the neck. Neck, head, nothing. As a beginner, not even thinking about it. Okay. If you've seen me do rope, you'll notice I use neck rope. I make rope blindfolds. I've made rope gags. I've put rope earmuffs on people. I will use rope for any fucking thing because I love rope. I especially love hair rope. I will tie, if you have long hair, I will make a rope gag pulley system where when I pull it, you will feel a gag and a hair pull at the same time. I will do hair rope in a moment's notice. But again, I had to work up to that. That is a higher level. Starting out, don't even think about that shit. Okay? Now, ask yourself, where do you want to go with rope? Do you want to become a master rigger that does suspension? Do you want to be someone who is really into shibari, making beautiful works of art with rope, rope clothing, rope dresses? You are making fashion statements with rope. I know a young lady in Delaware that literally does rope fashion shows. She loves shibari. She's really good in shibari. And she has had literal fashion shows where she will tie designs on people's body, send them down the stage. Shibari is something that is amazing and beautiful. And I will tell you right now, not my thing. I'm not into it. It's super pretty. It looks fantastic. Man, I am what you call a functional rigger. If it does not have function, nah. It looks pretty. It looks fantastic. It looks great. It's amazing. But they can still move their arms and legs. Like it's not cutting off their airway so that they can't breathe. I can use rope, go nowhere near your neck, and still have breath play just from the way I tie the rope around your chest. And then if I really want to be a sadistic motherfucker, I will tie rope around your chest. I'll add a crank to the back so that you look like a wind-up toy. And I will create a situation where I am slowly cutting off the oxygen to your system to the point where I will pass you out. Advanced, not beginner. So, or do you want to be someone who you use rope in the bedroom? Is your partner constantly trying to get away? Does she run when you are eating her pussy and it gets really good, but she can't take anymore, but you're not quite done? Rope. Rope will stop all that shit. If you tie her ass up just right, no matter how much she struggles and tries to run away, she will not interrupt your meal. And you can eat for as long as you'd like because rope. Depending on what your interest in rope is, that's going to kind of determine the level where you want to go. When I started rope, I was not interested in shibari. I'm still not super interested in shibari, but I do everything else with rope. If you've seen my Instagram, if you've seen some of the stuff I've been done on Telegram, if you've been to a convention or a presentation where I've done, I am hog ties, I am bondage, I am resistance rope. I have done rope takedowns. Done I have roped human cattle where they are running around a room and I will lasso them, pull them in, put them on the ground, hog tie them, and clear just to get my time. I will literally use rope for almost everything else because I love rope. I love the versatility of rope. I love the strength of rope. I love rope and what rope is. So, for me, I took a lot of classes. I spent a lot of time learning my craft. I did a lot of practicing. I had a rope suspension rig in my home, set up in my living room for the longest time. My son, it was a pull up bar. When my son wasn't home, it was the suspension rig. I tied sex swings to it and fucked people in the sex swing. I did suspensions from it and took pictures. I labbed suspensions and practiced tying people to it to hang them to see how it would work. I did all kinds of shit, just trying shit out and exploring the craft that I wanted to be good at. And it literally took hundreds and thousands of hours for me to get to the level that I am at now with the rope that I do. I enjoy rope. I teach classes for rope. People pay me for rope scenes. I have done rope for pornography shoots and porno shoots, videos. I have gotten paid to do rope where I will go in, tie people up. Somebody will come in, fuck the shit out of them. I go in, untie them, get my check, go home. Best job ever. Best fucking job ever. If I could get more, I definitely fucking would. But now they don't want to pay you as the guy that does the rope if you're not the guy doing the fucking. Like they want one person to do everything. Man, I'm not a porn star. But I'll tie a bitch up in a minute. Now, y'all see, I can go on for hours. Rope's my thing. That's my jam. I love rope. Anyway, if rope is something that you decide you're going to try, you fall in love with it, you think it's great, there is no such thing as someone who's really good at rope that did not pay to go to some type of training and take some kind of class somewhere. And I'm not saying my class, I'm saying a class. I'm not everywhere. I don't teach all the classes. I don't do everything. But you cannot get to a high level of advanced rope without some kind of face-to-face personal instruction. It will not work. Videos do not show you every angle you need to see, every knot you need to tie, and things from every point of view. So you're going to miss something. I don't care whether it's YouTube, you can do Midori, you can do Two Naughty Boys, there's all kinds of stuff all over the place. But without that in-person instruction where you can ask questions, you can see it for yourself, you can touch it to feel what that tension feels like. You can see how they're putting it on. You can look at it from all of the different angles to know the way it's supposed to look in the back and the front. What tension is it supposed to have on this side and that side? What does it look like from this angle and that angle? Those things are necessary. When you get to a point where you've seen the videos through 1,000 times or 100 times or however many times, and you still have questions, and when you're trying to translate what you see on the video to doing it in person and something's missing. Something's missing because it's a video. You can't see everything in the video, okay? So if this is something that you really want to be good at, just like anything else, you're going to have to invest in being good at it. There are conventions, there are intensives, which is a class that someone will come and they'll teach the class for an entire weekend, and they will use that entire weekend to show you 2 or 3 ties, but they'll make sure you're really fucking good at those 2 or 3 ties. And then the next intensive is 2 or 3 other ties. So it's something that you build over time, and it's something that you want to keep going with. Just like anything else, if you don't use it, you will lose it. I am constantly doing rope. I don't do as much rope in public as I used to. I don't do a lot of stuff that I can post because a lot of the rope that I do now is either private scenes that people pay for, or it's rope that I'm doing at a convention or an event. And most of those don't necessarily allow pictures because along with rope, we doing other stuff. And we doing stuff that can't be on camera and that not everybody wants on the internet because not everybody's a porn star. That's just how it is. So I don't do as much that I can show off as I used to, but I am constantly doing rope. I do all the time. And that's how you stay good at it. Because the moment you stop doing it, that's when you start forgetting how to do it. So you have to keep it going. You got to keep using that muscle. You got to keep working that muscle so that you can make sure that you're staying on top of your shit, okay? Remember, rope is dangerous. You are responsible as the rope top. You are responsible for your bottom. Their responsibility is communication. Your responsibility is to keep them safe and pretty much everything else, okay? So, if you are not comfortable, if you can't do it safely, if they want something and you do not feel like you can do it, no is not a bad word. I have seen so many tops that do shit that end up fucked up because the bottom asked for it and they wanted to appear to be something or they wanted to make their bottom happy, but they didn't 100% know what they were doing and shit went left. It is important that you understand no ain't a bad word. If you need to say no, say that shit, okay? I am the villain in a whole bunch of people's story. And guess what? I don't give a fuck. Because at the end of the day, if I say no, I mean that shit. And no, you're not going to change my mind. You can cry about it. You can go to the owner of the dungeon. You can talk to my submissive. You can talk to my friend. You can talk to whoever the fuck you want to talk to. If I say no, I fucking mean no because I said no for a reason. I've had people come to me and want to do a suspension. And I asked this young lady about her medical history just to make sure it would be safe to do a suspension with her. She said, I have a back problem. I said, okay, what's your problem? Understand, most injuries I can work around. If I know what your injury is, then I know what I can and can't do in that scene. Okay? So I need to know what is going on with you and what your injury is in order for me to know how I can work with you, what I can and can't do. She said, I have a back problem. Okay, you have a back problem. Got it. What is the back problem? She said, I don't know. I said, it's a compression issue where the discs are pushed together and that creates pain. I don't know. I said, so you don't know if it's a compression issue. You don't know if you have a slip disc where one's out of place or they're pulled apart. Like you have no idea. She said, no, I don't know. I said, okay, well, yeah, no, we're not doing suspension. She goes, why not? Because I don't feel comfortable. It's not safe. I'll be fine. I was like, okay, you'll be fine. I don't know what the fuck you gonna be fine because we ain't doing a suspension. So yeah, you will be fine because we ain't doing shit. What do you mean? I said, what are you having trouble with, the N or the O? Like, which part of this equation do you not understand? Oh, well, that's not fair. Okay. Am I supposed to give a fuck about what you're saying? I don't. If you don't think it's fair, you know what? You're entitled to think whatever you like. And I'm entitled to not give a fuck. So, okay, sure, if you think it's not fair, whatever. It's because I'm Indian. You're being racist. I was like, yeah, I'm being racist. Right. I am a black man at a swingers event that's majority white people, but pretty much anyone can come here. And I'm playing with everyone that comes into the dungeon, but I'm racist against you because you're Indian. Has nothing to do with the back problem conversation that we just had, that you established you have no idea what your issue is, and that's when I said no. It's something completely different than that. Right. Of course it is, lady. Sure. Well, I'm going to go get the owner of the event and I'm going to let them know. I was like, all right, tell him Bear said what's up when you get over there. Give him 2 shots out for me. Let him know I'll be in the dungeon till 3 a.m. so he can come by anytime if you want to talk to me. I don't give a shit who you go talk to. Bye. The fuck out of it. Bye. Go get him. Go get security. Go get everybody. Go tell Jesus that I said no. I don't give a fuck. Because let me tell you what would happen if I put her up in a suspension. And while she's up there, she has some kind of back issue and she gets paralyzed. Whose fault is it going to be? Who they going to be suing? Who they going to take that out on? Who's going to lose their job? How's that going to go? Yeah. So yeah, go ahead, get the owner, tell security, call Jesus. I don't give a fuck who you call. I said no and it ain't going to happen. You don't like it? Oh well. Shit, I didn't like the fact that that lottery ticket I bought yesterday didn't hit. Shit happens. So, do not feel like you have to do something that you don't feel comfortable doing, or you don't think you can do, or you think might be a problem. Say no. Because if you fuck up, it's on you. It's better to say no and be okay than to say yes and kill somebody. Because you going to jail. Don't nobody care if it was an accident. Don't nobody give a shit that you didn't mean to do it. Don't nobody give a fuck that it was a mistake. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. This is the real world. We're grown-ups now. Nobody gives a shit that it was an accident. You didn't mean to do it and it was a mistake. You tried to do some shit that you didn't know how to do. You hurt somebody and you're going to go to jail. You're going to pay the price for that. And no one cares that you're crying. No one cares that your feelings are hurt. Nobody gives a fuck. I know that this is the time of cancel culture and gentle parenting and being nice and being sensitive, and everyone has feelings, and listen to the Karen and blah, blah, fucking blah. But when you are into the BDSM lifestyle and you are doing dangerous shit, I don't give a fuck about your feelings. I care about your safety. So yes, be angry, be mad. I'm the big bad wolf. Start your rumors. Talk about me behind my back. But you know what you can't say? You can't say Bear has dropped somebody. You can't say Bear has killed a bitch. You can't say Bear hurt somebody in play because he was being irresponsible and he wasn't being safe. You can't say Bear played with a motherfucker that wasn't safe and was borderline about to succumb to some kind of situation and he was the one that fucked them up. You can't say none of that shit. You can say Bear's not nice. Bear says no. Bear won't do what I want him to do. But you damn sure can't say Bear fucked somebody up in the scene because he wasn't thinking about their safety and he was irresponsible. So you know what? I'll be the villain. I'm the bad guy. I'm Thanos. Fuck y'all. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care if you don't like me. I don't care if you're not happy with me. I am not hurting someone just because they felt like I should do something that I'm not comfortable doing or I don't want to do. And no one out there should feel any differently. If somebody wants to do something to you that you do not want and you are not comfortable with, don't say yes. Bottoms. Just because he's a top and he wants to do something, if you're not comfortable, if you're not okay with it, he's not your person and he's not someone who is responsible for you, even if he is someone who is responsible for you, you can still say no. Slavery is not real. This is a role play. And I know some of you hardcore BDSMers have a real problem when I go down there and I say that. But the reality of the situation is slavery is not real. We role play. That's the truth. So at the end of the day, there is no legal precedent for you to fuck your bottom up and then say, oh, well, we're in a power exchange situation, so it's okay. You can't arrest me because she consented to giving me power over her when we started our dynamic. So therefore, when I hurt her, it's not my fault and I can't be punished. Bitch, you going to jail. BDSM is not recognized in the legal system. There is no such thing as consent to assault as far as the law is concerned. That is why it is so important that as a top, you have to be sure that you are playing with someone that you can trust, that you feel safe with, or you have witnesses. I have played with people that I thought was safe in the privacy of my home or in the privacy of a hotel room, just to find out later that that lying bitch just wanted some attention. The reason that I have the rules that I have is because of the experiences that I have been in. And I tell you, people that know me know, if we have never played before, our first scene is in public. There are no first time private scenes. They're in public. You know why? Witnesses. You can't say I did something when I got 5 people that saw everything I did. Witnesses. That protects me. That protects you. When I'm meeting a bottom for the first time, even if it's just a negotiation, we are meeting separately in a public place. You're not coming to my house. I'm not coming to your house. I'm not picking you up at your residence and then going somewhere with you. You're not picking me up and then go. We are driving separate cars and meeting in a public spot, and we have witnesses for my sake and for yours. There are predatory, dangerous bottoms, just like there are predatory, dangerous tops. I did not know that for the beginning of my BDSM career, and sometimes I forget that now, but that shit is real. And they will fuck up your reputation just for attention. And it don't mean shit to them because they didn't work to build the reputation, so they don't give a fuck. And nobody wants to hear a grown-ass man say, that's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair. It is what it is. So, yes, I love you, baby. I love you. Rope. If you have any questions about rope, you know how to send them to me. If there was something that I didn't talk about and you want to add it in, send a comment, let me know. I'm sure I probably forgot something. I get lost in rope. It's hard to focus when rope is around. Rope is rope. Rope is my baby. I love rope. Rope is rope. I love rope. So remember, always keep your safety shears on you. Start off with loose tension. Don't go tight until you have some experience. Start with inanimate objects, teddy bears, pillows. Use something that can't be hurt before you move up to actual humans. If this is something that you like and something that you enjoy, you're going to have to, at some point, invest in taking a class, going to a seminar, You're going to have to find some place where you can learn hands-on with a rope professional. Okay? There are only so much you can learn from videos and books. At some point, you have to see it for yourself. You got to put hands on it, and you got to do it before you start using it on people. Okay? Things like suspension, high level, neck rope, high level, face rope, high level, hair rope, high level. You, as a beginner, are staying below the neck. Stay away from the joints, inside of the elbows, back of the knees. Stay away from ankles. Stay away from wrists. You want to tie where it's safe. Once you decide that you want to take those steps into something more advanced, take some anatomy classes. Learn basics about where nerves are close to the skin at the very least. Learn basic about blood flow in the veins that are close to the skin at the very least. Find out what kind of rope works for you. Shibari, bondage, suspension, or just be a functional rope professional, because functional rope is the best kind of rope. Shibari's nice, it's pretty, it looks good, but functional rope, predicament bondage, suspensions, bedroom bondage, neckties, rope gags, making rope spreader bars, tying someone to something. Like, to have a submissive that trusts you enough to tie her to a tree in the middle of the woods, butt ass naked, and leave her there overnight, that is something special. That is a special kind of love that two people can share, and that's something that's huge. That's really, really special. You know, for the people that have allowed me to strip them bare, tie them to a tree in the middle of the woods, and leave them there overnight, you have a special place in my heart. And I want you all to know, you thought I was gone, but I wasn't. I watched you all night long. I saw you cry. I saw the water from your soul leave your eyes. And I wished I had had something to collect it so that I could hold on to it. I saw you shaking. I saw you cold. And I loved it. It was amazing. As you know, I'm a little bit of a sadist. Don't pay any attention to me. So, again, we have rope class coming up. Not this Friday, the 17th. Friday the 24th, I will be teaching a beginner's rope class in Tampa. I have posted the flyer and a picture of all of the rope that we're going to be giving away to my Instagram. If you have any interest whatsoever in taking the class, it will be held at the Eyes Wide Shut Club. I don't know if they call it a swingers club or just nightclub, or Eyes Wide Shut. EYZ Wide Shut. It is in Tampa. Belmont, if I'm not mistaken. The address is on the flyer. All of the information is there. If you are on YouTube, I am Sentinel Bear everywhere, so you can find my Instagram and get a copy of the flyer off of that. Sentinel Bear, like I said, everywhere, on everything. Instagram, Twitter, Fat Life, SDC, all the things. Outside of that, I'm the bear with the two thumbs. That's right. Fireworks. That's what happens when you see these bad boys right here. Like, subscribe, do all the things. That's what you got thumbs for. One thumb's for liking, one thumb's for subscribing. Do them both. Do all the things. You don't want to miss a show. You don't want to miss learning something special about something special. You don't want to miss story time. You don't want to miss Q&A. Like, subscribe, do all the things. Make it happen. In the meantime, as I said, anyone that has any questions, comments, or concern when it comes to rope, drop them. Let me know. I will respond. I will check. We will talk about it. I will be about it. Rope is it. Rope is where it's at. And until next time, all you crazy guys and gals, you have fun out there. I would say don't do anything I wouldn't do, but shit, that's a real long list because I be doing a whole lot of shit. Be safe doing everything you do. That's what's really important. So, see you next week.